Alright, welcome back to another SegWeather video looking at your forecast for Thursday, August 6th of 2026. We are going to go ahead and dive into the main details on what to expect for your day. Starting off with the current radar, this is as of 7 o'clock this morning. We do have an ongoing area of some showers and a few storms occurring across parts of the southwestern Midwest. This is going to be in place throughout your day today, expecting this to move off to our southeast, bringing them some more downpours. There's also a flood watch in place for this area. So unfortunately, looking at some flooding rains continuing throughout your day today, but elsewhere, pretty much dry. Now, looking at the watches and warnings, a lot to talk about, but I'll break it down by categories. Starting off with dense fog advisory, we do have that in place for parts of Nebraska, Kansas, Iowa, and parts of eastern Wisconsin into southwestern portions of Ohio. That's in place for your day today. That's the darker gray, almost bluish color. That's for these areas. And then out to the west, we have the darker grays. That's where we have the air quality alerts for those ongoing wildfire smoke conditions. And then this lighter orange is where we have the fire weather watch. That's indicative of potential fires occurring in that area. And then this lighter pink is red flag warnings, indicating the potential for very dry conditions, strong upper level winds, and hot air to clash, meaning the increased potential for fires to occur in that area too, especially if you light any sort of fires. So if you are across the west coast to the Rockies today, highly recommend do not burn anything outside, as again it's quite dangerous right now with the very horrible conditions out there. Now across the southwest, we do have a lot of orange and dark pinks. That represents heat advisories. That's the orange, and heat warnings. That's in the dark pink. That it's indicative of heat values over 100 to about 120. We have same thing in Oklahoma, heat advisory in place, and then northeast coast also heat advisory in place for your day today, as will be quite hot over there as well. Now, moving off to our fire outlook for today, we do have a small risk over portions of the Rockies today. Again, chance for additional scattered fires to be possible, especially in this area. Same areas where the red flag warning is. So again, word of caution: do not be burning any fires outside, as any fires that get lit could easily become widespread. And prime example of this is what happened back on Monday and Tuesday of this week. This is in Spokane, Washington. I showed this image yesterday, but I'm going to show it again today. You can see this is a neighborhood in Spokane, Washington before the fires impacted the area, and look what happened to it after the fires. It's pretty much wiped out. Everything is gone. That's how quickly those fires spread, and unfortunately, this one was man-made, when someone lit a cigarette or something, and this is what it led to. Pretty much the entire neighborhood being smoldered to a crisp because of that. So if you are going to be, again, burning any sort of fires in Washington, Oregon, Rockies, doesn't matter where you are, don't do it, because it's not worth losing your home, and also for your neighbors to also lose their homes as well. Now, looking at this evening of the forecast in terms of the wildfire smoke, it will be hazy across the Midwest to parts of the upper plains, as the upper level jet will continue to bring some of the smoke out towards the east. But for the west coast, quite smoky, especially in Washington, Oregon, and spreading to Montana. You guys will again be in the crosshairs of this again. So looking at it, are not a good day out there. Orangey skies. Stay inside if you are in those areas. Even down towards parts of the southern Rockies, some of that smoke will be extending down towards you guys. Even parts of California may see some of that smoke as well. So far-reaching smoke overall. Now looking at those temperatures, it'll be quite hot across much of the country, especially for the south, the west as well. Temperatures in the 90s to 100s, largely for these areas, 110s, possibly here in parts of the southwestern corner of the U.S. And then temperatures a bit cooler across the Midwest to northeast, temperatures in the 70s to lower 80s. Highs in the 90s across the mid-Atlantic, where the heat advisory will be in place for your day today. Maybe even parts of Ohio may see that as well. And now as we move on to our severe weather threat forecast, looking at a slightly higher threat for severe weather today, mainly over the nation's midsection. There's up to a slight risk in place for you guys for some scattered severe storms being possible, and then the lower risk towards northeast coast and for parts of the plains as well. No tornado risk at this time, which is good news. But we do have a damaging wind threat where we could have damaging winds in excess of 70 miles per hour, especially in this area. And hail risk also is possible for just a couple of these areas. Not as high a threat, but still a chance for maybe about an inch hail at the greatest being possible with some of these storms. Now, in terms of the rainfall outlook for today, we're looking at up to a marginal risk being in place for much of the country. So there's a slight chance for any downpour to produce some excessive rainfall that will be there throughout your day today. Now, looking at the forecast, this is from this morning through later on tonight. You do expect this wave of shower and storm chances to continue to move through Missouri, may even enter Indiana by later on this evening, as we'll looks like it may take some sort of northeasterly direction later on in the day. But overall, looking at a wet setup for much of this general area in the country, some more shower and storm chances across the deep south, and a few storms across northeast at this time. So a little wetter for much of the eastern half of the nation at this time. And then overnight and into Friday morning, still more of the storm chances ongoing across the Midwest. Those storm chances across deep south, will die off a little bit, but then the areas in the Rockies, though, we'll see some storm chances at least for the early half of the evening before they do die off by early Friday morning. And looking down the line for pattern, we do expect the return of, you guessed it, the ring of fire pattern, which this is something I've been talking about all summer, as this is a pattern where we will have a heat ridge that sets up across parts of the country. Right now, it looks like we could have potentially maybe one or two of them, as we could have one heat ridge right over here in this part of the country, maybe another one somewhere in this part of the country, but the indication is that eventually by late this weekend, maybe around the 8th or 9th, we could have this pattern set up where we will have low pressure systems bringing in lines of storms moving along the edge of this heat ridge, and will move down into parts of Midwest, into Northeast, and bring in the potential for some strong storms. So if you're in this general area, I would be in high alert as right now for the potential for that to occur. But again, the track could change with how intense this heat wave will be. As the stronger this heat wave is, the more stronger these storms will be. The weaker it is, the less strong they will be. And I'm sure the track may also change as well. If, let's say, we get the heat ridge up towards Indiana, that would mean these low pressure systems will track further off to the north. But if the ridge sets up over, let's say, Missouri, that would mean these systems coming down to the south. So still some debate on where this will set up, but as right now, this is the general area. So unfortunately, the same area that's been impacted by strong storms this summer is underneath the gun again for more of that strong storm potential. So watching that very closely, especially later on this weekend and going to next week as well. But that's it for this update. Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and if you want to see more of this content, don't forget to subscribe to always get updated on whenever I upload a video on this channel. Have a great day and stay weather.